Yerp. What's happening? It's Chris Hall here. You are now tuned into the Chris Hall Show. I need everybody within the sound of my voice to go follow me on Instagram at ChrisHallATL. Also, once you get there, click the link in the bio. That'll take you to my YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Subscribe to the Chris Hall Show on YouTube. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you are always alerted and notified whenever I drop some content. We back, y'all. We are back like cook crack. Is it me you're looking for? I'm here, man. I am here. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who was in my DMs. Anyone who seen me in the streets, anyone who called me, text me, just checking on me to see what was going on and when are we getting the Chris Hall Show back? Well, guess what? We here and it's lit. This ain't juice. No. It's one of those. As you can see by the title, it's gonna get spicy. Black men marrying white women.
Hey, what did I tell you about disrespecting my Nubian princess? Peace out. With disrespect, oh my God. The mother of Mecca is right here before me. Do my eyes not deceive me, or am I looking at the goddess Isis herself? Can you do me a favor, my brown skin angel? Can you tap that white girl for me? My milk of magnesia. Oh, after the devil made you, he broke the mold. Well, maybe you and I could make a little jungle fever.
Oh yeah. It's going down. So while I was gone, off of my YouTube page and off of my Instagram, as far as the Chris Hall Show is concerned, a friend of mine introduced me to Clubhouse. A lot of y'all may have heard it. Clubhouse is a kind of an audio only type of platform where they talk about different topics. You can create a room. It's all audio. You can have your little profile picture. You can have a bio, things like that. And people get engaged in some conversations to where you can bring people on the stage and you could become a panel, have a panel of speakers, and you all take turns talking. It does get kind of crazy if you don't have a good moderator in the room to make sure everything runs smoothly. One of the conversations that I stumbled upon is black men dating white women. And sometimes these topics about men are controlled by women. And like I've said before in some of my previous videos, it's as if women just know it all. You know what men go through, and you seem to have all the answers. And it's almost as if in the social community, you all are speaking for us. That's why when we have these, safe male spaces over here in what they call the manosphere, most women don't like that because men are actually telling their truth and it's not coming from the voice of a woman. And some of the things that I've heard in that room were utterly ridiculous. I've heard the reason we date white women is because we hate ourselves, which I'm gonna dig down into that a little later on. They say black men hate themselves, which like I said, we're gonna talk about that to see what exactly that means. Yo mama black. And they were talking about all the bad things that white women and just white people in general have done to blacks historically, right? And it was kind of sad, man. It was kind of sad because I'm like, you don't even know why black men go to white women. Now, as you all know, this year I definitely opened myself up to dating other ethnicities. I love black women. Contrary to popular beliefs and some of the things that you hear in some of my content, most of this stuff is just constructive criticism and trying to get men and women, black women and black men specifically, back together. I think there's this, struggle of power going on these days when it comes to black men and black women. And it's as if we're in some type of battle when I don't believe that we are. I believe that there's a lot of misconceptions between us that we would like to explain. But black men be getting canceled, don't we? Do black women be getting? I don't think I've seen a black woman really get canceled like that. But it was so funny because in the room, they were talking, the black women were talking down on black men and why, or reason being of why we go out and date these white women. And it was so funny because there was a white woman inside of that chat room, and she said, yeah, I date black men, but man, they can be annoying sometimes. And oh my goodness, oh my goodness, these black women jumped down her throat, called her everything except a child of God. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was utterly ridiculous. And I'm sitting here like, damn, for 15 minutes, y'all just literally pulled down your pants and shitted on black men. But as soon as a white woman says something, y'all jump down her throat. And then this one black woman had the audacity to say, oh, you see how we stand up for y'all black men? I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You just got finished defecating on us, talking down on us, saying that we hate ourselves. But when she says something and y'all jump down her throat, which compared to what they were saying was minuscule, okay? Minuscule. Black men didn't even say anything. There were men in the chat. I was in there. We didn't think it was offensive at all. But because you thought it was offensive, you thought it was cool to put on your cape and come to our rescue. And we didn't ask you for that. So it's almost like y'all give yourselves kudos for something that we ain't asked for. My honest opinion, and mind you, this is from a very small anecdotal experience because as I've just told you, I've dated black women all my life. Never really got into white women, never, went over that aisle and decided to mingle with white women. Even though I've been in white spaces plenty of times, just never been my cup of tea. But I said, all right, well, black women ain't working out. Let's go ahead and try white women. And others, it's just whoever came my way. It wasn't like I was targeting white women. So what I've noticed is there's this thing called culture versus race. And I know Brandon Tatum, his YouTube is the Officer Tatum, mentioned this in one of his earlier videos because he's married to a white woman and he discussed, and he grew up in the hood. Just like me, I grew up around black people my whole life. I've always been around black people. So any type of perspective I have is gonna come from the black perspective. There's something called culture versus race. You know how I do with my definition. So culture is defined as the customary beliefs, social forms, and material traits of a racial, religious, or social group. To where race, for the most part, is just based on physical characteristics. It's a category of humankind that shares certain distinctive physical characteristics. So it's pretty much the color of your skin, if you will. I am black, light skin, but still black. Where a white woman would have white skin, she would be white. But the biggest distinction that I think, or not that I think, that I've experienced between black women and white women is a certain type of culture. To where white women at large can come off a little bit more feminine, not as masculine as a lot of these modern black women are coming off today. They were usually raised in a 2-parent household. They were raised to be wives. They have the experience of a nuclear family with the father in the household. Their music, even though, yes, I know they do listen to our music at times, but their music, do you hear me? Their music. Hip hop and rap is ours, black people. Their music does not talk about the defamation of the black culture. I seen a video the other day, and I actually I posted it on my Instagram as well, to where it says that nowadays the black people, African Americans, our image today has been overtaken by the underworld of black people. Walk with me. So with white people, you may have like meth heads or, the Marilyn Mansons of the world. That's not the standard representation of white people. Indian people. You have different type of groups that are the underbellies of that specific race, and they're not pushed into the forefront. To where black people, you're gonna see, us selling drugs, us shooting up people, fuck the police, this, that, and the third. Black women with their tongue outs, twerking, half naked. That's us. And you grow up with this stuff and you ingratiate yourself with this stuff, and sometimes it can overtake your life. Back in the days, I never used to agree with a conservative friend of mine, and he always used to say one of the main issues with the black community is going to be our music and or entertainment. What's put out there, what you can see visually. Sometimes it festers in your soul. You could soak all this in and not even notice what's going on. And I used to say, nah, I don't think that's it. Mainly because I had the wherewithal to where I could separate the two. There's a lot of people out there, black people, who can't separate the two, fact from fiction. There's a lot of women out there that run with the Meg Thee Stallion, Sweetie, Cardi B, light skin Keisha, the ghetto shit. Okay? And they run with this stuff. They watch these people, they mimic their moves, they mimic their sayings, their sound effects, sometimes even their way of life to what they rap about. Okay? It has definitely caused a problem in the black community to where we look like complete idiots. When you look on TV, okay? I know that there are prominent black people, that there are black people who are just regular black people who just go to work. And when men have been dealing with black women for so long, and some men, it's just not clicking. It's just not clicking between them and black women. So what they do is they end up dating a white girl, and I'm sorry, but it's like a breath of fresh air to them because they've never experienced how things can be, to where when a woman grows up with a mother and a father who love them and who have raised them to teach them how to be a wife to a man and how to carry themselves, and they may or may not listen to this stuff. They may not subscribe to this stuff. These white women, they just, hey, hey Terrence, how you doing, Rashid? They're just always smiling, always happy. I have a job to where, I go into people's homes and I get to kind of see how they live. Obviously I'm not there for too long, but I still get to see kind of a snapshot of how these people live. And they live regular lives, okay? They're not with all the glitz and glamour and bottle popping and standing on couches in people's sections at the age of 40 something. I mean, it's just, they just don't do that stuff. They care about family. Some of them care about religion, legacy. When I go into these people's houses, man, it's portraits of mother, father, 3-4 kids going down the line, separated by maybe 2 or 3 years, if that. I just went to a client's house of mine today, to where last time I seen her, she just had a baby. I go there again, she's pregnant again. They're married. They usually do things the right way. To where us, we just have these babies. You know what I mean? And there's no real connection between those two people. And I think that's one of the reasons why black men may stray away from black women and may dip into white women. I know there's going to be a lot of comments, a lot of people upset and butthurt about what I'm saying, because majority of women number one, can't handle, and number two, just don't like the truth. These things are very, very true. Okay? But like I told you from earlier, with women, it's almost like an echo chamber. Y'all come into rooms, y'all come into groups, y'all hang out, and y'all are the ones controlling the narrative of all these different categories that I talk about on my show. And no one ever disagrees with y'all. Y'all homegirls agree. Everybody's in agreement. Okay, I've talked to women personally who said that they're scared to disagree or to challenge some black women, that they would just rather not. And that's the problem. Y'all been lied to for quite some time about what's really going on, because y'all don't want to listen to us. You could care less. The things I see in the street, trust me, y'all could care less about black men. And this is how black men feel. I promise you, and I kid you not. I go to parties sometimes and I see more women mingling with women than with men. I mean, it's big congregation. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but it almost looks like more women are gonna just become lesbian. All y'all are slapping each other's ass, grinding on each other, things of that nature. Now, I know white people have their underbellies and their ratchet shit, Jersey Shore on TV and all that other stuff. But as a whole, that ratchet shit belongs to us, unfortunately. And that's what we see on a day-to-day basis, day in and day out, and it's getting even worse. So, I get it. You're gonna say that white women are copying y'all. And what you gonna do about it? Sit there and complain? Sit there and say men are the problem? Or are you gonna compete? No. Compete for a man? Absolutely not. No. You'd rather just hang around your homegirls all the time, right? You're not gonna compete for that black man. So guess what? Once he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. Anyway, I'm telling you, man, look, you can't make this stuff up. These are the real reasons why they go to white women. White women are a little bit easier to talk to. They're not yapping back. They know when to chill, relax in their femininity, right? Remember that? They're cool with that. They've seen their mother interact with a man their whole life, to where some black women don't even have an example of how that looks. They don't have fathers, and mind you, this is sad stuff. That's not their fault. It's not their fault. So when I speak, I'm not saying that it's your fault. I'm only telling you the real, and that's always how I keep it. Anywho, you have been watching the Chris Hall Show. I need all of y'all to subscribe to the Chris Hall Show on YouTube. Also follow me on Instagram at ChrisHallATL. You know the deal. You know what it's hitting for. We are back. We will be dropping short clips like this, just so I don't take off too much of your time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Y'all got things to do. You don't want to see me all day. We will be going back live on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Instagram. We're going to have some very interesting topics coming up. I appreciate all of y'all, and I'm looking forward to how this show will be growing. Remember, Wednesdays live on IG at ChrisHallATL. We'll see y'all on the next one. We out.